Hey guys, this is Josh F151 Tech back with another video. And in this video, I just wanted to give a update on the Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet that I have. For those of you that haven't been, watching the channel or don't know, or if you do, watch the channel, I made some videos talking about how I switched to Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet, but I actually am getting that for only $20 a month. I actually signed up for a tablet plan, but I actually took the SIM card out of the tablet. This is actually the SIM card holder that I got from when I went to the store. But I have two videos on my channel talking about that, about how to go about doing that, and then, how to go about getting the Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet for only $20 a month. But in this video, I'm actually going to be talking about a little bit of a concern that I have that I actually noticed versus the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet. So when I was uploading YouTube videos, I noticed, now when you upload a video or something, you upload a file, a large file or something like that, it's going to make your internet slower. But what I did notice was I was actually watching the Philadelphia Phillies game last night, and while I was uploading my YouTube video, I did notice that it was actually buffering, and it never actually did that before. Now, keep in mind that we did actually have bad weather yesterday, so bad weather does affect the signal, and it affects the 5G quality and stuff like that. It affects, bad weather is going to affect this kind of service because it's not actually being hardwired in. It's a cellular connection, basically just being broadcasted over Wi-Fi. It's a cellular connection just being rebroadcasted over Wi-Fi. But I know that it didn't have anything to do with my Google Nest Wi-Fi Pro 6E mesh system. I tried restarting that. Every once in a while I'll restart that, and I'll restart the the gateway itself. The Chester Cheetah gateway, Chester Cheetah version 2 gateway / modem, whatever you want to call it, third-party gateway, cellular gateway, whatever you want to call it. But I just thought that I would bring this to you guys' attention because, like I said, I like to keep you guys updated on this kind of stuff. But that also could be that it was because of bad weather yesterday. Now, I did actually upload a YouTube video prior to this video that I'm making, and I did notice that it was still slow when I was like browsing on my phone. I put YouTube in the background on my phone, and I noticed that it was actually slower than it was normally when I would be uploading a YouTube video. I went into ESPN to check some MLB scores, some baseball scores, and I noticed that it was a little bit sluggish. But like I said, it was raining yesterday, and I've noticed that there's going to be some bad weather coming in. I think we're getting some rain and stuff from that hurricane and stuff that they were talking about. We're actually in South Jersey here, so we're not really too far away from other places that are getting rain and stuff from that hurricane or whatever, or that storm or whatever it is. But I figured that I would make a video on this. It's not to the point of being unusable, but it's definitely noticeable. It's definitely noticeable compared to when I had the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet SIM in there. I just noticed that, I don't know if it's because I did move this antenna around before I actually set up the T-Mobile 5G home internet, the Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet. It was weird because when I put the Metro by T-Mobile SIM card in there, I was actually having a problem getting 5G signal for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it's saying a weak 5G signal now, but before, when I actually first put the Metro by T-Mobile SIM in there and set up all the APN settings and all the stuff he told me to do, the guy from Chester Tech Repairs, there's a bunch of stuff you have to do, in order to get it, to get it to work. You just can't put the SIM in there, like you can with a, actual T-Mobile 5G home internet SIM. And there is some setup to that, even, using a third-party gateway, no matter what, SIM card you put in there, there's going to be some kind of a setup, that you have to follow. So it's not just, like buying a gateway and just, putting a SIM in there and boom, you have internet. It's not, really that, easy to do. But, it's not, really that complicated either. But long story short, I put the SIM card in there. I changed all the settings that he told me to change and everything from the Chester Tech Repairs. He told me to change some settings. So I changed them. I rebooted a couple of times, and it still wasn't giving me a 5G signal. So what I did was I thought to myself, well, maybe I have to move the waveform antenna, and I did actually move it actually further over to where the tower is. So the tower is actually more to the left of me, more than the right of me. So I moved it over somewhat to the left of me, and it's been giving me, 500 to 600 on the download, ever since. So, obviously the closer it is to the tower, the more likely it is it's going to get a better signal. So, lo and behold, I moved it, closer to the tower, down the road from me, and, lo and behold, it's been working, ever since. And actually that day, to be honest with you, that day probably wasn't the best day to actually, mess with the cellular network, because it was actually raining that day. It was actually, really, really coming down that day. It was actually downpouring, sometimes that day. And, I thought to myself, well, it's probably got something to do with the weather, because the weather does affect cellular, networks and stuff. That's just, there's not really any way, of getting around that. It's the same with a TV antenna. It's being broadcasted, to you, from a tower, so it's not actually a cable connection, so when you have bad weather, you can expect to have slower speeds and stuff, and problems, with connection sometimes. But for me, I mostly get the same speeds, when I have it set to 5G SA, mode, even with the Metro by T-Mobile. I noticed that I'm, even, it was raining a little bit today even, when I got up, and, I noticed that I was still getting the same speeds, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this, like I said, I'm going to, be doing further testing, before I cancel out, the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet. Like I said, I still have the SIM card for that. This can actually take 2 SIM cards, but I thought to myself, well, it can get kind of hot up here, so why don't I just take this SIM card out, and bring it down, from the attic. There's no sense in, having the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet SIM card, left in there, just getting, hot, up here when it doesn't need to be. Like I said, I do have fans up here. I have a fan behind the gateway itself, and then I have a fan over here, a pedestal fan that, goes back and forth, and keeps it, pretty, as cool as possible. I have this window open over here, and I have this window closed because I don't want the, I don't want anything really getting wet or anything, and it's better, to actually have that window closed. I actually put a storm window in there, if you guys can see that, just to help with a little bit, better protection, so it doesn't get wet or anything. I understand, that the waveform 4x4 antenna is made to be outside, but, I can get away with it, inside. I can get away with it up in the attic here, and I don't have to worry about, weatherproofing it or wrapping the, the ends in tape or anything, or anything like that. So that's definitely a good thing, that I can, get away with using it up in the attic here. And, like I said, the tower, is facing out that way, toward the left of me down the road. So it's like literally, like right down the road from me. So it's not, that far at all. And I also have that window open over there. I did actually try to put the waveform 4x4 antenna over there, because I thought maybe it would get a better signal, maybe going like to the right, of me, because the tower is, like a little bit, it's actually a little bit further, like down the road. It's like a little bit more, this way, than it is, where it's actually at right now. But, if I actually go over here and show you guys can see my car and everything down there. Like I said, I'm in the process of getting my license. I do have a car, but I have my permit right now, and that's my dad's old truck down there. That we're probably going to eventually sell. Sadly, he passed away about 10 or so years ago, but we're probably going to sell it, as is, because it needs a lot of work. I really don't want to climb up on the roof and put, risk, putting, that kind of an antenna up on the roof or anything, like that. And like I said, I get 500 to 600 on the download, up here, so that's definitely not bad at all, especially considering we have like a pine tree right there. I'm sure you guys can see that. And we also have a telephone wire right there that's running across, or an electrical wire. That's actually the electric wire that goes into the house from the road. And then we also have, some other trees out there that are, pretty big and thick with branches. I'm lucky enough, to be able to get 500 to 600 on the download, with all of those, obstacles in the way. So I'm not gonna, really mess with it. Like I said, I did actually try it outside. I've tried it outside on the roof, not on, this high of a roof, but I've tried it, multiple places outside, on lower roofs, on the house, and, it didn't want to give me, better speeds than I get up here. So, I just keep it up here, because like I said, 500 to 600, on the download is definitely not bad at all, for a cellular connection. So that's, definitely not bad at all. Back to the story here, I'm gonna, or back to the main, main thing about this video. I'm gonna definitely be, keeping an eye on that, and testing that out more. Like I said, Metro by T-Mobile, it's the same thing, it is T-Mobile. But what I'm thinking is maybe the reason for that is, maybe I'm actually being like deprioritized or something with the data. Like I said, it's only been like a day and a half, but maybe I'm already being, deprioritized, because Metro by T-Mobile, I've heard that their customers are actually like somewhat put on the back burner, when it comes to data and stuff. I've heard with Telomobile, and Mint Mobile. My sister actually has Mint Mobile, which is a, MVNO of T-Mobile. I've heard that all of them, like they'll be put on the back burner, when it comes to, the internet connectivity, the congestion, stuff like that. Like, so, for example, if, Metro by T-Mobile customers, if there's a lot of Metro by T-Mobile customers around here, which there actually are, which is what kind of concerns me. I'm one myself, but there's a lot of people that actually use Metro by T-Mobile around here. So if Metro by T-Mobile customers, are using the tower near me a lot, and T-Mobile customers are also using the tower near me a lot, the T-Mobile customers, are going to be prioritized over the Metro by T-Mobile customers, or the Telomobile customers like my mom. Basically, it's T-Mobile, and then it's Metro by T-Mobile, and then I would have to say that it's like Telomobile or Mint Mobile, or there's other ones out there. I can't really think of them off the top of my head, but there is another MVNO or two out there that T-Mobile uses, or MVNOs use. They use T-Mobile's network, but T-Mobile and Metro by T-Mobile are the basically the best two, to go with, if you're going to try to do something like this, to where you can get a tablet plan, and then, or a cheap phone plan, and put it in your, cellular gateway, your third party, cellular gateway, because like I said, there's other ones out there. There's other MVNOs, Mint Mobile, but the Chester Tech Repair guy told me to stay away from that because they hard cap your data after a certain amount. Telomobile does the same thing. They go to 2G speeds, after you hit 35 gigabytes on their so-called unlimited data plan. Like I said, there's other ones out there, that, do the same thing. So, your best bet is to go with either, actually actual T-Mobile, if you're going to try to do something like this, or you go with Metro by T-Mobile. But like I said, I did notice that with the uploading, like I said, we have been having bad weather around here, and we're actually going to have a lot of rain coming in, from that hurricane or that storm. So I'm going to definitely be, doing more, further testing on this. But like I said, it really wasn't the best day, for me to set this up. When I bring the SIM card home, from the tablet, it really wasn't the best day to set this up. It's like an antenna. Like if you're gonna set up a TV antenna, like an outdoor TV antenna, it's best not to set it up, when it's bad weather. Obviously, you can't really do that anyway because you're gonna be outside, setting it up. But when you're scanning for channels, it's kind of like the same thing. You don't want to scan for channels if it's bad weather, because you're not going to be able to, pinpoint, where the channels are actually going to be coming from, and what channels you're going to actually be able to get, because with bad weather, this is basically the same thing, with cellular network. With a cellular network, it's gonna throw off your signal, when you have bad weather. And I've even noticed before, and another person commented on my channel, and they said that happens to them as well. I've actually noticed that most of the time, when we have bad weather, I've noticed that my 5G gateway, my Chester Cheetah version 2 gateway / modem, whatever you want to call it, I've noticed that it actually goes from a weak 5G signal, which we normally get, but we still get 500 to 600 on the download, so I'm not really worried about that. Like I made a video on my channel about that not long ago too, that signal quality, or signal strength, I should say, doesn't really matter. It doesn't really mean anything, if you're still getting really good speeds and reliability, ping, upload and stuff like that. But like I said, with the bad weather, that's gonna affect everything, and like I was saying, we actually go from a weak 5G signal, when we have bad weather, to a strong 5G signal. And I talked about that on my channel, and somebody said, yeah, that happens to them too. And then it goes back to a weak 5G signal, when the storm is over, when it's done raining, or when the bad weather has moved out. So, but anyway, that's basically the video, guys. I hated to go off topic here, but I wanted to, inform you guys and, more on this kind of stuff. I like to keep you guys in the loop, as I say. And like I said, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this. Like I said, Metro by T-Mobile, is, like deprioritized, when it comes to T-Mobile customers. But the good thing is, around where I live out in South Jersey, the good thing is we don't really have that many people that actually live in this town or live around here, in our town anyway, and like I said, the tower, is right down the road from me, and I haven't had any problems with Metro by T-Mobile for my phone carrier. I've had them, I used to have them years ago, I had them years ago, before I actually switched to them for my phone again, because I switched, I thought about it more, and, especially now since I'm out of a job, I was actually paying, around $96 for my phone, not for my phone itself, but for my, my plan. I was paying around $96 for them, with actual T-Mobile, with my unlimited plan, and then my watch plan, my Google Pixel Watch 2 LTE, and I thought about it more, and I thought to myself, I don't really need a $10 a month watch plan. Metro by T-Mobile, unfortunately doesn't, offer a watch plan. So, I thought about it more, and I thought to myself, I can just use my watch with Bluetooth. It's not really that big of a deal. And I'm actually glad that I did do that. I'm actually glad that I made the switch to them, because I'm very happy with what I have now. $25 a month, $30 a month for your first month, and then $25 a month for bring your own phone, on a Google Pixel 8 Pro, I'm getting unlimited everything, so that's definitely not bad at all, and now I'm getting, like I said, the same coverage, for a lot cheaper, with Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet, for only $20 a month. Like I said, is it really legal? No, not really. The way that I'm doing it, but, it is what it is. Like I said, any way you can save money nowadays, and as long as they don't find out about it, as long as you don't talk about it to them, or anything like that, or talk to tech support, or anything like that, have them pull up your account or something, and see that you're using, like around 1 terabyte of data or more, for the home internet or something, even though you're not supposed to have that SIM card, on your home internet. That's the thing, that you just got to be careful. It's just best, to say very little. Say very little. That's just the best thing that you can possibly do. Unless you are actually having major problems, with the network, where you can't actually get your SIM card or something working. I'm pretty tech savvy myself, so I probably wouldn't have to bother, talking to them. I can, I can get around, by using Down Detector. Down Detector is a really reliable app. You can use Down Detector to find out if there's a signal down in your area, if there's a tower down in your area. You don't always have to contact, T-Mobile or Metro by T-Mobile. That's the best thing to do, to try to figure it out yourself. Especially if you're doing something like I'm doing, that's not really, what you consider legal. But that's the thing, I would rather, try to fix it myself, because most of the time, I'll be honest with you guys, most of the time the T-Mobile reps or the Metro by T-Mobile reps, they don't have a clue as to what the heck they're doing. I'll just be honest with you guys, I probably know more of what I'm doing, than they do. So, that's the thing. It's not worth, risking, them finding out, that you're using like almost 1 terabyte of data or more, on your Metro by T-Mobile SIM card, that's supposed to actually be in a tablet, that would most likely never use, close to 1 terabyte or more. So, definitely keep it on the down low. Definitely don't, go around, talking to Metro people, saying, oh, I get, T-Mobile 5G home internet for only $20 a month, or, don't go on Facebook, broadcasting it. I'm not going to do that. Don't go on there saying, oh, I have Metro by T-Mobile, 5G home internet for only $20 a month. Then you're going to get people asking you, how you did it and all this kind of stuff. And Metro, might, catch on to it. I know I made a video about it. I know it's out there, but I'm not going to, actually tell people around where I live, that I'm actually doing this. I'm not going to actually say where I live at and say, I live at so and so, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm not going to actually say that on my YouTube channel, actually where I live at. But that's the thing, just keep it on the down low. And like I said, I'm definitely going to be monitoring this more, with the Metro by T-Mobile. Like I said, it wasn't happening before, when I had the regular, T-Mobile 5G home internet, SIM card in there. It wasn't happening, before, when I was watching, sports or whatever, using Cody with live TV add-ons. Like I said, we don't pay for TV, but it could have been, like I said, because of the bad weather, that we were having that day, that could have been why it was buffering and stuff like that, that could have very well been. But I did notice, like I said, before I started making this video, I did notice that my phone was actually slower, when I was, browsing ESPN. I was on Facebook, Instagram, some other apps that I was using, like, TikTok, Snapchat and stuff. I did notice that it was actually a little bit sluggish. It wasn't like unusable, but it was actually slower, than it normally was, when I had the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet, SIM card in the gateway. So, it's just something to keep an eye on. Like I said, I'm hoping that it's not going to be a problem, but it possibly could be, because Metro by T-Mobile is deprioritized, like I said, when it comes to actual T-Mobile customers. But for me, if I can get around that, if I can, just not, worry about, watching something, when I'm uploading YouTube, that's not really that big of a deal to me. I did notice after I stopped, after the upload was completed, I did notice that my speeds, were still the same, 500 to 600 on the download. Obviously, like most of my videos are like 20 to 30 minutes, so because I like to talk a lot, unfortunately, but, most of my videos are like 20 to 30 minutes, and it does take like 20 to 30 minutes actually to upload them, which really isn't that bad, especially considering it's a cellular, network connection. That's definitely not that bad. But, like I said, it is something to keep an eye on, and I figured that I would make a video about it, and I'll let you guys know, further, down the line. I'm definitely going to be, testing this out further. Like I said, I'm probably going to do some more speed tests, on the Metro by T-Mobile, 5G home internet now. I'm going to have to start calling it that now, if I'm going to be keeping it. That's the thing. I'm definitely going to be, testing this out further and, doing more, field tests, like I said, before I actually cancel out, the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet, because I really don't feel like canceling that, and then going back to have to, I would actually be coming back as a new customer, with, the actual T-Mobile 5G home internet. So I would actually, if I had to go back to them, I would actually pay, $60 a month, instead of $50 a month, like I'm paying now. So I'm probably going to actually call them after this video. I'm actually going to probably put that account on pause, for like 90 days or so and test this out more thoroughly, and, let you guys know, my experiences and stuff, along the way, do speed tests, all that kind of stuff, with the Metro by T-Mobile SIM, in here, in the 5G, home internet gateway, and test it out, more thoroughly and stuff like that. But that's just something that I wanted to touch on. Like I said, that's kind of what worries me about the Metro by T-Mobile, is that they are kind of, put on the back burner, like I said. So, I'm hoping, like I said, though, because there's not that many people around here, I'm hoping that it's not going to really bother me that much, with the speed differences or anything, or if there is speed differences or anything. This is just, like I said, I was setting it up in a day where it was bad weather, so that, could possibly be why, I was having that problem, why I was noticing that, when I was uploading a video, because it was raining that day, when I was watching the Philadelphia Phillies game, or it could have just been Cody itself, it could have been Cody, with the live TV add-ons, messing up itself, because sometimes, you guys know, that's free, sometimes, that the streams, do mess up on there, so you have to keep that in mind as well, that it might have not, been the Metro by T-Mobile, messing up or something like that, so that, you got to kind of, take that with a grain of salt. But, like I said, I did notice, when I was messing with my phone, when I was uploading that other video, that I made an updated video, talking about this, before I made this video, before I started making this video, I did actually notice that my apps and stuff were actually slower, on my phone, and when I was, using ESPN, I noticed that, it was opening slower and it was loading slower. So I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping that that's not going to be a problem, but that's, the point of the testing. Like I said, I'm going to be testing this, more and more thoroughly, and, like I said, if I can get away, with it being a little bit slow, when I'm uploading something, that's actually normal. It did actually somewhat do that when I had the T-Mobile 5G home internet SIM card in there, versus the Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet SIM card, or the tablet SIM card, whatever you really want to call it. But I did actually notice that I had, somewhat of a slowdown, not as bad, but like I said, you have to also, take into consideration that it was actually a bad weather day, yesterday. It's actually sunny out today, or actually right now, as you guys can see out there. So, but like I said, when I was uploading a video before I actually started making this video, I did notice that my phone, was having problems. It wasn't like real slow to the point of being unusable, usable. But I did actually notice, that Facebook Messenger was loading a little bit slower. I noticed that, Facebook was loading a little bit slower, ESPN, stuff like that. I noticed that. But, I figured that I would touch on this. Like I said, I figured that I would let you guys know, about this. Like I said, I like to keep you guys in the loop. But I'm actually going to get down from here, though, guys. I'm going to end this video now. It's getting really hot up here. It's actually 86 degrees up here. And I'm actually sweating my butt off right now, but I like to keep you guys updated, and make this video. I'm going to get these fans back up and running, this one over here, and that one over there. And I'm actually going to get down from here and, get cooled off and get something to drink. And I'll probably, like I said, make a video, later today, on the speed test. Like I said, with the speeds, they've been fine so far, 500 to 600 on the download. The upload is still terrible, but there's not really anything I can do about that. The upload is just terrible in this area. It doesn't matter what carrier you have. I've talked about that before. I'm really satisfied with it so far. Like I said, it's only been a day and a half. But other than that, the only thing that I was really, kind of concerned about, is like I told you guys in this video, the uploading, the buffering, and the slowdown, when I was actually uploading, a YouTube video. But, I can get around that, if I have to, if that's the only problem that I have, if my download speed, stays the same, my ping stays the same, my upload speed stays the same, I can get around that by just not uploading a YouTube video, using the internet itself, or, I can use the, internet from my phone itself and upload a YouTube video. I have unlimited data, on my phone, so I can do that. There's a way around that, so I don't really have to worry about that too much. But I figured, that I would touch on it, because that's something that I noticed, with this, SIM card, with the Metro by T-Mobile, SIM card in there, compared to the T-Mobile one. And like I said, the T-Mobile one did, actually do that, but it didn't do it as, as much, as the, Metro by T-Mobile SIM card is doing. So, like I said, it is usable, but it's definitely, noticeable, when I'm uploading something, it either buffers, stuff buffers, or stuff, is slower. It's still usable, but it's definitely noticeably, slower, than it was actually, when I wasn't uploading something. When I upload something and it's complete, it goes back to not buffering anymore. Stuff goes back to not buffering anymore, and that's, why I said, I can get around it, and everything goes back to the same speed, after I, get done uploading something. So, my way to counter that is, if I have to deal with that, my way to counter that is I can just upload the stuff on my phone, on my mobile data on my phone, and not have to worry about the buffering or anything, when I'm trying to watch sports, or anything like that, or TV or anything like that. There's a way around that, so that's definitely a good thing. But, like I said, I thought that I would touch on this, and keep you guys updated, but I'm going to get down from here. Like I said, it is hot up here. It's actually 87 degrees up here right now, so it's getting hotter. It's in the afternoon here, so it's definitely, getting hotter, so I'm going to, get off of here. But like I said, I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop, and I will be making, more videos on this. I'm going to definitely be, keeping you guys updated on this, and I'm going to be, testing this out more thoroughly, like I said. And I'll definitely keep you guys updated, and I'll probably make another video, later today, this afternoon, or later tonight, about some speed tests. I'll do some speed test videos and stuff on that, on the Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet, if you want to call it that. Like I said, it's basically supposed to be a tablet plan, but I'm using it, as, T-Mobile 5G home internet, slash, Metro by T-Mobile 5G home internet. It's basically the same thing, like I said. But anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, just wanted to get this video out there. And if you guys like this video, please like and subscribe. And until next time, guys.